just chilling. And we at the Washateria, y'all. We at the Washateria. And hope it's everybody having a terrific Tuesday, a motivating Tuesday. And that you're moving, you taking the, all that you're moving by faith, that your faith is in motion now that we're moving on from this series about faith being in motion. We pretty much now we're looking to, you know, receive and retrieve success. Receive and retrieve success. Just pretty much getting in a place where you are walking in your purpose. Now remember, faith in motion equal purpose. Now that we didn't put our faith in motion, now it's at the purpose part. We at the purpose part where we are going to pretty much, what have you learned, or what is it that you yourself are called to do? God has put this in your heart. You've seen your family lineage. You've seen your generation. You've seen your generational tree, and you know now what it is called for you to do. What's your purpose? What you are, you carrying a torch. Now that the torch is in your hand, now that it's burning bright, now that your faith has been fueled, now that your faith is in motion, what are you doing now to proceed on and carry that torch for your loved ones, your friends, your generation, to somebody to say, hey, that person made a difference. This person made a change. This person changed the trajectory of where our family lineage and our family tree was going, and they made it blossom more. They made it give purpose. They gave it life. All those limbs, everybody now looking at you and your family as inspiration. That's where we at now, is what are you doing purposefully, that you're going into atmosphere, you're going into the job, you're going into a store, you're going into any atmosphere and changing it. You're going into any place and changing it, and it takes work. These type of things take work behind the scene. It's just not you get here overnight, but if you have the desire, and if you have the faith and the effort, and you have it's almost like you planting a seed and you taking care of it. If you watering it, if you're pretty much putting it in the sunlight, if you making sure you cultivate it, making sure you do all those things to enjoy that seed, then guess what? That seed is going to grow. That seed is going to multiply, and that's what we have to do. Now that you got your purpose going, what are you doing to push yourself into further and enjoy your purpose? Because your purpose is meant to be enjoyed. Purposes is not meant to be gruesome. Purposes is not meant to be down. And I'm gonna let the coach, the mentor and the coach, share with you on that topic.
It's the reason why the word says faith without works is dead. We have to work our faith, and a lot of people want to call it manifestations, or however you want to perceive what God is doing in your life. So be it. But you have to remember that God is in control of the situation. And with that being said, you have to sometimes get out of your own way. Remember, the enemy can sometimes be the enter me. And God be calling us to use our faith. God be calling us to go forward, but yet we hear this small voice on the inside of us telling us not so. And God says not so. God says, who report are you going to believe? And sometimes you got to just push past how you feeling, push past what you're thinking. And we like to tell the kids, it's called stinking thinking. Yes, as adults, we think too, y'all. We can think as well. And we have to be mindful of that. We have to be mindful to take every thought captive. And in taking that captive, it's like you taking it and you transmuting it out of your forefront. That way you can work your faith. That way you can stand on what it is God is telling you to do. That way you can be motivated. That way you can be pushed. That's what we do over here at A Unique Touch. We pour those things out of you that God has called you to do on purpose. We pull it on purpose, and we take that and we work our faith. Faith without works is dead. That's why we're calling it faith in motion. Because in that, you want to be moving to the next thing. You want to be moving to what God has called you to do with ease, y'all. We can do it with ease. That's the reason why it's good to be connected. That's the reason why you have to tell yourself daily, I'm not going to be moved. Put that in the comments. I'm not going to be moved, okay? You got to tell yourself daily, I'm not going to be moved by trials. You're not going to be moved by life, because true enough, life just be lifing. Okay? Yeah. Life be lifing, y'all, and we can't be moved. We can't be We can't be thrown off track so easily, and be mindful of being thrown off track. I'm gonna come back with y'all on them being mindful of your triggers. Because a lot of times it's not that you don't have faith, you just being triggered, okay? And you can't let your triggers trigger you to go back to the old you, okay? You got to let those triggers push you and say, hey, this not me. Hey, I'm not going there like that this time. Hey, I'm not going to be moved by that situation this time. You got to make sure your triggers stop triggering you, okay? I'm unique, and this is the joy for the journey.
Wow, yeah. So them triggers, y'all, them triggers, you have to, sometimes I do a lot of schematics, and I work with schematics and electronics and things like that, and wiring. When you wiring is disconnected, that thing that you press that button to give it that power and that circuit closes, you have to know, if I could disconnect that thing that triggered me, meaning I'm growing by faith. Remember, faith is pretty much you speaking, you saying, you thinking something into the future. You placing something into the future that's supposed to be there. Whatever you want to see, think those things. That's why the Bible tells us, so that a man think it, so is he. So what are you thinking about? What are you putting in your future that you want to see? You have to give God something to work with. You got to give God something to put into practice and put in motion. That's faith in motion. If you look at a road, we comfortable driving on the road. Why? Because we know it's something ahead. We know that road is going to continue to go. We know that road is going to lead us somewhere. Your faith is going to lead you somewhere if you continue to walk by faith and not by sight. You have to know that, Lord, everything that I'm speaking, I'm believing. The very words that I'm speaking, I'm believing that they're going to come to pass. You're creating a road up ahead for you. If you do not speak those things and say those things you want to see, you will never see the road ahead of where you're going. You have to speak those things, create your road, create your path, so that way you can know where you're going and where you're headed and prepare yourself to get there. If you're not thinking those things, thinking on those thoughts and speaking into your future and saying what you want to see, God is saying, what is it that you need? What is it that you want? What is it that you're desiring? I've given you the faith. Because he said to each man he got given a measure of faith. Now that we got a measure of faith, use your faith. Faith in motion and know your purpose. Have a blessed day.
Have a blessed and powerful day. Remember, before God bless you, he gonna test you. So be mindful of how you work your faith. But keep your faith working. We love you. God bless you.